All right, Ashley. Let's get into some headlines.
That was weird. I don't like when you call me Ashley because it doesn't. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's like when I call you Greg.
Calling you by your Christian name. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Let's get into some headlines from across the state of Texas. We're going to start with something that happened last week. It is the latest shoe to drop in the realignment saga. The Texas with regards to college football in the state of Texas. So you may remember, and I believe last Monday when I was out, you did the story about how Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF plus BYU were going to join the Big 12 starting in 2023. We knew that they were going to join the Big 12, but at that point, I believe they said it was going to be 2025.
Yes.
When the kind of grant of rights had expired for a lot of these things. So, as a result, Cincinnati leaving the American, Houston leaving the American, UCF leaving the American, BYU independent, they can kind of do whatever they want, right? Yeah. They're all going to join the Big 12 starting next season, starting in 2023.
Yeah, July 1st.
Yeah. So July 1st, they'll be official members. They'll play their first football game in August of 2023, about a year from now, okay? So that left the American in a bit of a lurch. So it was announced last week also that AAC, American Athletic Commissioner Mike Oresco, said, you know what? Y'all can move up your timeline. We can move up our timeline too. So as a result, they are going to add 6 new members starting next summer, July 1st. It'll be Charlotte, Florida Atlantic, and UAB. Plus, the 3 teams we care about, North Texas, Rice, and UTSA will officially leave Conference USA and join the American Athletic Conference. They had already been approved last October when realignment came through that they were going to be joining the American, but it will start. They will play in the American starting next year. So there's a few more things that are kind of going to come about. There are Conference USA is adding teams, including teams from the WAC. Is Sam Houston going to move up their timeline, et cetera? That's a bit tougher. So you're seeing this kind of trickle down effect. It started with the American Athletics saying, or the teams in the AAC that said we're moving to the Big 12, and then you're having Conference USA move to the AAC.
Are those Conference USA teams paying? Is there
that has not been? I have not seen that, but I know that generally speaking, there would have to be some sort of buyout in order to get there. Really, what we're all kind of waiting to hear is the movement at the top, and the movement at the top is Texas and Oklahoma. Texas and Oklahoma kind of started this whole thing whenever they announced that they were exploring and then eventually getting accepted to join the SEC. That is supposed to come down in 2025. That buyout is significantly more than like leaving Conference USA to go to the American Athletic Conference, and so time will tell. Basically, you got to think of it like this. Texas and Oklahoma would pay to get out of the Big 12. To get out of the Big 12. Big 12 would take that money to pay for Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF to get out of the American Athletic. American Athletic would then use that money to get those teams out of Conference USA, et cetera.
Which is exactly why I was asking if there was going to be charges, because it's kind of like, okay, well, that all depends a whole lot on what those 2 at the top do. It's
a trickle-down effect, right? It's a trickle-down effect with all of those things. So then there was it was announced last Friday that the American had come to terms with Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF about their departure. So they were paying. One would have to imagine that Conference USA they're going to do something similarly, but I have not seen word on that. But anyway, there will be a lot of movement in 2023 for college football. That is now, I believe, that's at least 4 teams that are going to have new conferences.
Yep, and we talked about it. It is really good that. That's a weird spot for us because technically we will have sent the magazine to press before that happens, but the fact that we know it's happening, we can kind of prepare for it.
Thank God.
It is very good that they told us now instead of July 1st going, hey, by the way, this is happening on August 1, because that would be a nightmare.
Yes. Elsewhere in college football, the NCAA is coming out in a news release. They have said that they want to, the Transformation Committee, as they call it, they want to create transfer portal windows. We've talked about this a little bit. But right now, the only rule with the transfer portal is if you want to transfer for the 2022-2023 school year, you have to be in the portal and let your team know by May 1.
Yes.
That's the only. You could do it on June 1st, the day after, or the month after. You could do it on May 1st. You could do it whenever, but that's the only thing is that in order to do it, the deadline is May 1st. That's when the cutoff is. That has obviously thrown a wrench in a lot of rosters.
Yep.
In the sense that we've been talking about transfers pretty much every single month. Even during the season, we've been talking about players going in the transfer portal, et cetera, et cetera. This is now going to, I think what they're talking about is find a way to control it a little bit so that football programs and basketball programs, I shouldn't say, but for our purposes, football programs have a little bit more stability in their rosters.
Yeah, I don't think it has to do much with the athletes actually going to transfer. I think it's more of a program setting as a whole.
Yes. And so, we'll see where those go. The proposed transfer recommendations are, quote, intended to stabilize the transfer environment while adding additional accountability for schools that receive student transfers. So we'll see how that all works out. But the NCAA wants to put some more restrictions on transfer portals, on the transfer portal. Okay, so next week. Not next week. Oh my gosh, 3 days from now.
Yeah, I was like, we gotta start packing tomorrow.
I know you complain all the time about how cold the studio is. I've got great news for you.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about that.
Sweating.
Starting Wednesday, we will be down in College Station for the state 7-on-7 tournament. The field is set and the pools are set.
Yes.
We've got them up on TexasFootball.com. We'll flash them up here. You can see this. This is Division 1. Division 1 is comprised of 6A and 5A teams, plus I believe the largest private school teams are in here as well. Although I don't believe, was there one? I want to say I saw one, maybe not. But there are you have those. Bel Air Episcopal and Pool G.
There it is.
They are these are the pools. If you are unfamiliar with how 7-on-7 works, the way that 7-on-7 works is that we have these 64 teams divided into 16 pools, and it's a lot like for Division 1, it's a lot like the World Cup.
Yep.
The World Cup in the sense that you play a round robin. So if you look at Pool A, Cy Falls, Fort Worth Brewer, Longview, and Lubbock Coronado. Cy Falls will play all three of those teams, Brewer, Longview, and Lubbock Coronado. The top two teams advance out of that bracket into the championship bracket. There's also a consolation bracket for the other teams. But you have those teams that will play one another, at which point they will be seeded into a tournament, which will be a single elimination tournament starting on. So for Division 1, they start Friday afternoon, and it'll go until Saturday afternoon.
And then Pool A will play the winner of Pool B,
so this is who teams are going to. This is who you're going to
that
have
Pool
to play.
E is crazy.
Pool E is pretty tough.
DeSoto, Eastlake, Hightower, and Lake Travis.
That's pretty tough. I think that might be
we're gonna
record Tep and Step here in at a little later today with our full preview. But I would look at Pool E as perhaps the pool of doom. Then we'll go to Division 2 and Division 3. Of course, you can find these pools up on TexasFootball.com/7-on-7. Division 3 is 3A Division 2 and below. Division 2 is 4A and 3A Division 1. And so those are the teams. And this is a little bit different in the sense that regardless, the pool, everyone makes the same tournament. Regardless of if you go 0-3 in your pool play, you'll still be seeded into the tournament since there's only 32 teams, at which point it's a single elimination tournament. But there you go. That's who's playing who. We'll have a complete breakdown on Tep and Step, our premium high school football podcast, which we are recording a little bit later today. It'll be in your feed in a bit.
Also, real fast on that note, if you are not going down to College Station, you can watch some of the games on TexanLive.com for free.
Wow.
And let me be very, very clear about this. We are not broadcasting every single game. I saw some people tweeting tweets going, hey, tune in and watch. We will be on field 7 and 8. If you're down there, it's the 2 turf fields, so you can go say hi to the guys there. But we will have games throughout all 3 days.
4 games going on.
And the championship games.
Yeah, and the championship games. We'll have 4 games going on simultaneously on pools during pool play.
So your team might not end up on there, but tune in, watch. It's free.
Check it out. It'll be fun. TexasLive.com. I believe it's brought to you by our friends at
the Army National Guard.
Texas Army National Guard. Thanks, Texas Army National Guard for sponsoring the broadcast.
We'll also have highlights and all of our stuff on social media as well. So make sure to stay tuned for all of that.
Yes. A small college note brought forward by our friend Corey Hogue, our small college contributor. Our small college intern. The WAC, the Western Athletic Conference. Of course, they're adding 2 teams this year. They're adding Dixie State, which is actually Utah Tech now. Utah Tech, as well as Tarleton. They're adding them. And the WAC Board of Directors approved the participation of those transitioning schools in all conference championships. What's that mean? Well, typically, whenever teams are transitioning into a new conference, you are ineligible for the conference championship. That will not be the case for Tarleton. Tarleton will be able to win the WAC in 2022 if they win the WAC. And so, certainly big news for them. That means that they're going to be able to, play for something. They're not just kind of playing for funsies. So that's good news, I would say, for Tarleton, that they get to go out there and play for it all.
Very cool.
Theoretically. All right. Couple other things. This is normally we get to these things in This Week in Recruiting, but this is an out-of-state commitment, and it's just noteworthy, I think. Did you see the news that Texas has picked up a commitment from tight end Will Randall? Will Randall is the tight end from Isidore Newman High School in Louisiana, and big 3-star prospect, 3-star tight end.
Yeah.
And perhaps you're thinking,
why
Tepper,
does this matter? I don't know these words.
That's neat, but why would you bring this up? That is because Will Randall is the teammate and apparently quite close friend of Arch Manning. Arch Manning, the number 1 quarterback in the class of 2023. Texas is hot after them. So that is noteworthy. I don't know what that means, but I know that it can't be bad for Texas.
Oh, yeah.
That Arch Manning's one of his top targets just committed to Texas. So Will Randall, the tight end from Isidore Newman, is the new commitment for Texas.
That blew up Twitter on Saturday?
I don't
Friday,
think
Saturday?
there's any hiding what that's about.
No,
I mean,
absolutely not.
I haven't watched his tape. I'm sure it's pretty good. He's a 3-star he's a 34th ranked tight end in the 2023 class.
But the attention that was
good,
getting
but
was not because of him. Sorry, kid, but
it's not because Will Randall is
the superstar tight end. He's a good tight end,
but there's thoughts that maybe they're a package deal. I want you to direct you to TexasFootball.com for a couple of different things. We've got the main feature up for subscribers. Mike Craven's incredible feature on Joey McGuire, Jeff Traylor, and what they mean for high school football as it relates to college football. It's up on TexasFootball.com for subscribers. Go read it. And then also a reminder that tomorrow,
Big doings.
Republic of Football going live. Republic of Football is going to be live on wherever you're watching this right now. You'll be able to watch Republic of Football tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow. So stay tuned. Stay by the channel tomorrow at 2 o'clock so that you can watch our friends Ishmael Johnson, Mike Craven, and Mallory Hartley do their thing on Republic of Football live at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
And that show will continue to be Wednesdays at 2 o'clock from here on out. But since we're leaving for 7 on 7 on Wednesday, they're going to go ahead and do it on Tuesday. So I think it's about an hour-long special, and you can get there's a chance to win a ROF shirt, too. So hang out with them.
One last thing, Pickle, in headlines. Did you hear what's happened let's go to the Sooner Athletic Conference.
You hear about this, Kev?
Did you hear about this? The Sooner Athletic Conference, which, of course, is home to a number of our programs, including Texas Wesleyan.
Yes.
Texas Wesleyan, this is according to our friend, or reported by our friend Corey Hogue. Texas Wesleyan is scheduled to open its 2022 campaign at home against Arkansas State University campus Querétaro. Now, perhaps you're wondering, who's that? Querétaro is probably how it's pronounced. ASUCQ is located in Querétaro, Mexico. And is the first university in Mexico to offer the United States academic model of education.
How cool is
Texas
that?
Wesleyan is going to host them in what the game is being billed as the Global Classico.
Oh, I love it.
7 o'clock, August 27th, Texas Wesleyan and ASUCQ.
Is that a Friday night? Isn't that the first Friday night of the season?
27th? Let's see. No, it's Saturday. Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
Saturday night, get over to Fort Worth.
How about that?
Texas Wesleyan.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they're going to be playing. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because we've had high school teams play teams from Mexico, but not college.
So there you go. It's a college football, an actual college football game involving a team from Mexico coming up here.
How cool is that? The
Global Classico, Texas Wesleyan and Arkansas State University campus Querétaro.
Very cool.
We're going to go with that.
Sounds right.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.